everybody, welcome to East West Gaming. I'm Wes.
I'm East. Got another quick adventure for you. Well, not so quick today, but as quick as we can.
Yeah, well, we don't know how long it's going to be because it's another Team Rocket one in it, so we've got to try and, take the infiltrated radio tower down from Team Rocket and hopefully, get rid of them out of the tower before they broadcast the signal.
Well, they're not offering any tours, but we're still going up.
We finally taken over the radio tower. Now everyone will get to experience the true terror of Team Rocket.
I don't think Team Rocket is that scary. They've only got Ratatas, Zubas, not anything.
Yeah, I thought. Who was it later on the third gen? Team Aqua and Team Magma. I thought they were a bit more scary, to be fair. And Team Plasma later in Gen 4. I think they were more scary, than Team Rocket.
I mean, Team Rocket is a big criminal organisation, but the only problem is they don't use any advanced Pokemon, so to speak. They're using starter Pokemon. Like Rattata,
only the bosses have got decent ones.
I mean, you know what? They're an international criminal organisation, and they can't afford to have anything better than a Raticate or a Zubat or a Golbat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're too strong, because you've got a Raticate.
I mean, I'm not saying that Raticate is a really weak Pokemon, but it's a really basic one. It's like a normal type.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you could have had Charizards and other things,
I mean, we're going around as a trainer catching Pokemon. If Team Rocket really wanted to take over the world and steal Pokemon, why couldn't they just catch Pokemon themselves? Why go through the effort of stealing Pokemon?
Let's see what this lady has.
Oh, is that Jessie?
Looks like Jessie again, yeah. There's many of them that look like her, I've noticed. Right.
No, if you see any Jessie looking ones, they generally have roughly the similar Pokemon that they have in the anime.
Ice Punch.
So I know they're calling them a grunt, but that is literally Jessie.
I think this Pokemon tower is, this radio tower is quite a big area. If I remember rightly. I think you have to go up for so long and then you have to go into the basement and then go through the other side to get up to the top. So that's going to take some time, but we'll get rid of them.
Well, if there's any buildings in the real life which is as complicated as this, you know what I mean? See what I mean? Rattata.
Do you remember the one in Celadon City, the building where if you went round the back there was a secret area, you could go up to the top and get was it an Eevee?
Yeah, it was an Eevee.
Yeah, that was a pretty nifty one where there was a secret back entrance to it.
Well, it was someone's house right at the very top, innit?
Yeah, I'm thinking what, add more of them sort of things in the games. It's good.
Imagine having a building like that now. You literally live on top of a big shopping centre, but then you can't access it unless you go around the front. Although having said that, they do have buildings like that in Hong Kong, where you've got a building complex built just right next to or / on top of a building, a shopping centre, and then you take an elevator, from your building into the shopping centre itself. But I know in the UK, they don't really like too many apartments. People generally don't like apartments in the UK, I find.
Yeah, they like houses with gardens, I think. I would prefer to have, a house and a garden like I've got now, front garden and back garden. Front garden for all the nice flowers, and then a back garden, you know, just some bit of peace time when you want it.
Well, I understand that. But I remember reading about this one, like, city. I can't remember which part of the world it is. However, everything is inside one apartment building. And what I mean by that is literally everything. Your barbers, your supermarkets, your school, your hospital, everything is in one building. Because it's that cold there that, they can't afford to leave the apartment building. So literally everything that you could think of, gyms, is inside this one apartment, apartment.
That's quite cool, actually.
I mean, think of it like a hotel in a sense, which has everything you could ever think of, but for everybody's day to day.
Cool, that's cool.
And I'm pretty sure that everybody knows everybody because they all live in the same apartment building. So
you wouldn't like to have a feud with anyone there, would you? Bit of animosity with the neighbours.
But it does save on a lot of gas, electricity, water,
That'll be the future of the world, to be fair. I think the way it's going, the overpopulation. There's going to be nowhere build on land anymore. We're going to have to start building upways, so it's going to be more high-rise buildings.
Well, if you think about it, that's already the case in Hong Kong. Hong Kong has one of the most populous, cities in the world. Not everyone, can afford to have a house, and a lot of people have to rent apartments, and apartments is pretty much the norm in Hong Kong.
Zubat.
I mean, that's like
Bye, Zubat.
That's like that in New York as well, though. So I'm thinking,
and Tokyo as well. Tokyo's mainly apartments.
But that's because people don't like normal houses. I mean, there are people that want houses, but the houses in Japan are abandoned. You can get it for ¥1. The only issue is you can't sell it because no one wants to buy it. The reason that it's ¥1 is because no one wants to spend the money to, do it up. Because once you do it up, you still don't own that house in a sense.
Grimy. Bye, Grimy. See you later.
At least we've got, a decent level.
Yeah, I mean, grinding between the gyms is a good thing, I suppose. And then it looks like the story's quite coherent, it flows well.
See, the only issue I'm having is the gym leaders are a much higher level than where we are. Like, for example, this Grimer is only in its early 20s.
And then the gym leaders are in the 30s.
So, while I do like the fact that the gym leader is meant to be stronger, but if we're going to be fighting these grunts, I'm thinking the level needs to be reflected.
Harden. How dare you, Harden?
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised that Muck even knows Harden.
You've hardened even more now because I froze you with my ice punch.
You didn't actually.
Technically, and now I've just, melted him with a dynamic punch. Explosive TNT blast. That's how I always get the impression of dynamic punch.
Yeah, but that's not what dynamic means.
Right. Oh, got some Torchic game memories at the end of the sheet then.
See, but how did you know they were tortured so they weren't introduced in this generation?
I know, you see, the agenda of Pokemon, they knew what they were doing. Yeah, it is terrible they're trying to control them all.
Yeah, but the only issue is they're not catching Pokemon. Why are they so lazy?
A lot of trainers to battle. Good time for our Pokemon to level up. Coffee!
Yeah, but they're not any different from what we expect as it is.
Love it how it's got the toxic sign on its body printed on. Imagine naturally coming out of an egg and you've already got a toxic sign on your body.
See, but I think didn't they say like coughing's not even the most like poisonous type anymore?
I mean, it is quite toxic, but you got Toxic Rogue as well, which is quite toxic as well.
Yeah, but Toxic Rogue doesn't have like
I mean, Grime is more toxic. I'd say it's made of like toxic waste. It's sort of like a toxic mud in a sense. So I would say if anything's more toxic, it's probably Grime and muck. Look, it's made itself really small, so that its evasion would go up. But really, what it's done is lowered my accuracy. But have you Swift?
Yes, because it's 100% accuracy.
Exactly. Every time. That's why I like Swift.
The only time you can't use Swift is if someone is like, diving or bouncing, flying.
Yeah, with Dig, you can use Earthquake. I don't think there's anything you can use with the flying.
Thunder, I think. I haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm pretty sure you can use Thunder while they're using Fly.
I've never tried that, in all the years.
Yeah, I think I heard it somewhere, but
I know Earthquake works with Dig, that's the only one I know of.
But the only reason is, like, Thunder already is low accuracy, so the chance of hitting anything anyways is quite low. But isn't it like accuracy 60?
70 or 75%, I think it is.
But it's still relatively... actually, no. I'm pretty sure it used to be a lot lower than that, and they just raised it, but...
I know if they use Rain Dance, it gives it 100% accuracy, I think. Bounce is technically the same mechanic as Fly, though. So if it works with Fly, it should work with Bounce as well.
Oh, I remember the old meta where you used Articuno and what was it, Mind's Eye to focus, and then you use Sheer Chord. So instead of it being like a 30% chance of hitting, it's a guaranteed hit. And Sheer Chord is a one-hit KO move.
Yeah, there was only 3 or 4 of them in existence, isn't there?
Yeah. So there's like Sheer Chord,
Fisher,
Horn
Drill.
That was it, wasn't it?
No, I think there was another one as well.
I can't remember what it is.
Fisher, Mega Horn.
No, not Mega.
Horn Drill, yeah. Mega Horn's a bug type move, isn't it?
It's actually quite powerful.
Guillotine, that was the one.
Oh yes, Guillotine. And
Guillotine was the bug type one, wasn't it?
No, it's a normal type one.
Is it normal?
It is normal, yes.
It's because all bug types knew it. Like, you could learn it to Pinsir, I think it was, and some others, all bug types that were learning
not
it.
all bug types, only a few of them.
But yeah, there was 4. There might have even been another one later on, a different meme or derivation of the move.
Sheer Chord was a later one-hit KO move. It wasn't. I don't think it was one of the originals.
No, there was only 3 on the original, which was Fisher, Horn Drill, and Guillotine on Gen 1 and 2, I think. %30 chance accuracy. And you only had, was it 5 UCs?
Yeah, only 5 uses, 30% chance of hitting. So it was very low chance of hitting. I think the lowest of all moves.
3 out of 10. If you had 10 moves, basically 3 out of them 10 would probably hit. But because there was only 5, that means roughly 1.5 moves. So technically only 1, possibly 2 out of the 5 would hit.
Yeah, but I remember
you find that none of them would hit when you use them. It was with me anyway. None of them ever hit.
Because I used to try using some of them in the Elite Four when I was playing Pokemon Red in the past, and I'd use all the moves. I'd save it right up to the end, and they wouldn't work. All 5 of them.
You're like, I've got to reload it now. Just keep trying again.
And then it was in the days when, you know, you're going up against Dragonite, you know, who keeps spamming Hyper Beam at you.
Hyper Beam or Ice Beam, I think it was. They always use.
See, Ice Beam wasn't too scary if you had something that was, you know, that wasn't weak against ice. But then Hyper Beam literally is just too OP, especially in Gen 1.
I don't know if there was an item that you could use Hyper Beam every turn, because I know there was one for Solar Beam where you didn't have to recharge. Because I think if you use Sunny Day, you don't need to recharge.
Yes.
With Solar Beam, but there's an item I believe that you can give to them as well, where there's no charge time with Solar Beam.
There was a couple of moves. I know there was like a water equivalent of it, but I can't remember what it's called.
Hydro Cannon.
Might possibly.
Hydro Pump, then Hydro Cannon. Yeah, Hydro Cannon you had to recharge also.
Because I know they were all like added into the game afterwards. And then there was Blast Burn.
And then Steel Beam later on as well was similar. On Sword and Shield, Steel Beam.
I don't think I used it that much, so I don't remember that much.
It was a very, very, I think it's the most powerful Steel type move, but it is one of them 2 type moves where you have to recharge after you've used it.
I don't think it's the strongest like Steel move anymore.
No, it is. It's since Gen 8 Sword and Shield, it's been the powerfulest.
Wasn't there like Meteor? Was it Meteor Smash? From used by Metagross.
Meteor Mash or something, wasn't it? I think that was only like 85 power.
Was
85 or 90, yeah, where Steel Beam's like 120. It's like Hyper Beam equivalent.
Well, Hyper Beam's 150. So it must be 150.
It must be around that area, yeah. They're all beams, the most powerful ones are always a beam, new enough. Because you got Moongeist Beam, which was the most powerful ghost move. And then you've got the... Is it Moon? What's the Moon one? That's basically a beam. The Fairy type one. Is it Moonbeam?
No, it's not Moonbeam. I remember, and I know it because I used it the other day, but I can't remember what.
It's obviously not Dazzling Gleam. What's the other one called? I know on Sun and Moon, I think the moon comes in the sky, then it goes bling, and then it attacks. But yeah, that's the most fairy, and that's a beam as well. They're nearly all beams, the most powerful moves.
Special attacks as well.
Yeah, they are special attacks. I think high jump kick's one of the most powerful physical attack moves, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's got low accuracy as well.
I think 70%.
Are you sure? Because
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I failed to use it.
It basically gives you enough thing. You say, oh yeah, I'll risk it. But then there's always that risk. If it misses, it does loads of damage to yourself.
I'm pretty sure my accuracy with that was less than 10%. Because I remember when I used to use it quite often. When I had a Hitmonlee. And I do not remember how many times I actually used it successfully. Most of the time it was like, you know, a failed attempt. Oh, I wish they had something other than a Golbat.
No, I've just looked it up. It says high jump kick's base power is increased from 85 to 100. It cannot be used if gravity is in effect.
Well, that's kind of obvious that. Ooh, new Pokemon.
Oh, Porygon.
This Porygon looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they introduced Porygon 2 in this generation as well.
See, I know everyone's like, oh, they've already made like a corrupted version of Porygon. Can they not make a perfect form of Porygon? Which I am actually quite interested.
Porygon 2 was a more better version than 1, but Porygon Z was the corrupt one.
No, but what I mean to say is, they're now trying to get a better version of Porygon Z.
Yeah, they need a one that can actually take over the whole internet and stuff, because it was designed to be able to like take over the internet and stuff.
But even then, Porygon 2 wasn't that much of an upgrade to Porygon, because the moves it learnt wasn't amazing, in all honesty, in my personal opinion.
It's a PvP Pokemon. I always find Porygon. It's got all moves like Conversion, and then obviously Porygon 2 later Conversion 2, and then you had Sharpen and other various moves.
I know it's like a support Pokemon, but I don't really use support Pokemon. I just, go for the all power types, which is why I'm not a PvP player. I don't really battle against other players. You know what I mean? I don't know how to build a proper team.
I mean, you can after a lot of time and playing, but I think when I play these games, I just pick what I like best and then use them.
But if you want to be competitive, you need to learn how to do certain EVs. It's not just putting all in attack, all in speed and things like that. If you watch the real ones, the real competitive players, they've got 43 into this start, 60 in this start, and they spend so long, optimizing it. But I would love to be competitive one day.
It's never too late.
I would still need to have to do lots of tests and learn how to do it properly, unfortunately.
We've been playing Pokemon since it started, so there's a good chance it will be still playing it in another 20-30 years as well. I know I probably will be. Be like, Grandad, what are you doing?
Playing Pokemon!
Playing Pokemon Gen 22, Generation 22. There's now 3,000 Pokemon. I bet you didn't know Raichu evolved, yeah? It evolves again in Gen 15, and then it evolves again in Gen 22. And you'd be like, I wanted one of them. And we'll still remember nearly every Pokemon, because we've played it from the start.
Wow, to be honest with you, I need to, some of the names are hard to, for me to remember now, because I don't go through every single Pokemon, but I do know quite a number of them.
Yeah, I'm the same. I could probably name that over 90% of them.
I'm not too sure if I can name 90% of them. Probably about 50% at best. if I,
It's easier if they showed you their picture.
Oh, if they showed me a picture.
I know the name of that one.
See, all the name of the Pokemon is in the back of my head, but it's just locked behind a giant wall of forgetfulness.
And then if you forget the name, then someone mentions him. Yeah, I remember now.
It's always the case though, isn't it?
It's there, The neurons are firing away trying to think about it. It's that's there. How dare you use Sludge on me?
Which is actually quite a reasonably powerful attack.
Yeah, I liked Sludge Bomb. Gunk Shot was probably one of the most powerful poison moves. It was pretty good to use.
Yeah, but they didn't bring it until quite late.
Yeah, because my Toxicroak had that, because I had a shiny Toxicroak later on.
Wasn't it a exclusive move to Toxicroak back then?
I'm not too sure.
Or I knew, because I remember Toxicroak was one of the few Pokemon that could use it. But I'm just wondering, at that point in time, was it the only Pokemon that knew how to use it?
One Pokemon that was supposed to be quite good, but I never used it, was the Palpitoad ones that went into Seismitoad. The ground type one.
It was ground and water, wasn't it?
I think it was ground and water, yeah. It was quite a decent Pokemon, but I never even used it. I probably will at some point in the future.
Why would you need to use it when you already have a groundwater one with, what's that starting now?
There is quite a lot of groundwater, one with a Swampert and Marshtomp.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that other one later as well, the one that's lying down in the cave with a Pokeball open. I think that was a ground and water type. And it closed like a shell, I think it was. They used to wait there for you until you stepped on them, remember?
Clamperl?
No.
Oh.
They had a steel type version of it in Sword and Shield.
Oh, that one.
I think that was originally a ground and water type.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about now.
And they did Fingulator, was it? What was the were bought? Was it the Wooper later on? Wasn't that a ground and water type?
Possibly. Yeah, I think so.
The new one. Because they did a Paldean one, didn't they? And I think it was ground and water. Right, so we've gone up as far as we can in there, but we need to find a way now. So I'm going to heal myself first, and we're going to find a way of getting in the basement.
Shouldn't be too hard.
I think it's in the underground, the tunnel thing under there. So I've got to go under there. We hope to see you again too as well, Nurse Joy. Thanks for healing.
More than 2 years. Can't go that way.
I think that's the other end of it over that side, but I think I need go to the left maybe. No, it's not down there. Yeah, I think that's the way you go through. Yeah, the block in that end. Let me through!
It was such a struggle, wasn't it?
Of course, they battled me.
I know, but you lost to Whitney, so...
How they all got this far, you know? I want to see if this is opened up down here now, because I think the shelves move after a while. They moved, yeah. Now they haven't opened. This might be the way out afterwards. I think they move out the way afterwards, and then you can get the items.
Ooh.
So I need to go into the underground path.
Now you just need to find a way to the underground path.
I think it's over to the left. They are tools making money, but there are other things as well.
Which is the way there?
Right, let's have a look now down here. So there's the gem. Name rater. Get your Pokemon nicknames.
Well, it's been a while since we guys.
Underground entrance. This is where we need to go. It's rough down there, you better be... Yeah, I'm scared, to be fair.
There we go.
Basement key, open the door. So we found the way in now.
At least we finally found it.
Oh, here he is. He's Diamond. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
My best friend.
Let's see who can win. Me or Diamond, do you think?
But to be fair, Diamond looks a lot cooler than you.
Golbat. Good choice. See, he shouldn't have really headbutted there, Bullion, because he could have headbutted and gone inside his mouth, then all he had to do was do a big bite and you would have, you know, been defeated. Ooh, see me Torchics again. Wing attack. Oh, super effective. But you know what? I'm strong and I'm going to carry on.
Do you know what we need right now? Is a Torchic. Just like, this is a Pokemon you've never seen before. Torchic!
And then the trainers are like, whoa, where did you get this from? That's a cool looking Pokemon.
No, they'll be like, what sort of Pokemon is that?
I'll take this from one of the other islands over to see if you've not been over there yet. Place called Hoenn. Get yourselves over there, guys. $36, woo!
Getting there, getting there. We can start hitting the Elite Four soon.
For Alligator, I think we need to swap, you know, because we're going to get absolutely annihilated.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, I'm a rock type, so you know.
I know, but if you have a little bit of faith...
I'll use water. Fight water with water.
Can you believe it? The only like dragon move in the first gen was just Dragon Rage.
What move was Twister? Because I know that become a dragon move later.
I don't think Twister was in the original game, was it?
This is Twister. I've got Twister now.
No, I meant yeah, but this is second gen, not first gen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the first game. Yeah. Was Dragon Rage was the only one? Because they didn't have Dragon Claw then either, or Dragon Tail, did they?
No, they were added in a lot more later after that. Because I remember they said like
it's one of the least types in all of Pokemon, isn't it? Dragon. There's less Dragon types than any other type. So
yeah, but Dragon is everywhere. Like most players use Dragon types.
There's more normal types than anything. I think in Bug. Is it Bug types?
Yeah, Bug and like normal are
the most populated. Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't say there's loads of Dark. I wouldn't say there's that many Dark types.
No, I mean, as a secondary type, yeah, sure, probably quite a few. But as a main type, no, not many Dark ones.
Flameal.
Well, I was thinking about it, and there isn't. Well, there's a little bit more Psychic than others, but Psychic isn't like a huge range.
See, I'm roughly around 7 or 8 levels higher than Diamond's Pokemon, so I'm at a pretty good level at the point I'm at, I think.
Yeah, but kind of suggests like Diamond's a lot better trained than you if he can beat the gym trainers with his level of Pokemon.
He doesn't technically beat them, because when you press on the thing at the bottom, it'll tell you who the certified trainer's on. It only ever says your name, not the other, not Diamond's name.
Or maybe
it just says Crystal on them.
Maybe he just beat them after you did.
Yeah, I never went back to the towns after and actually checked. Why do I lose? Because you lost, because you're not very good.
Well, he didn't assemble the toughest Pokemon, because if he did, he'd have like a a Dragonite with him right now.
So guys, what would you say is your favourite Pokemon out of all the generations? You know, stick to the comments. We'd love to see, you know, what your favourite Pokemon is.
Oh, shall we do it up to Gen 2 favourite Pokemon right now? Since we're playing a Gen 2 game.
Gen 2, well, including Gen 1 and Gen 2, I'm going to say, because my favourite type is Ghost, I'm going to say Gengar for me.
My favourite. it's really hard to choose. I mean, you know, everyone's favorite has got to be like at least a Pikachu because Pikachu's the face of Pokemon. But besides Pikachu, I think Ampharos is one of my favorites. Wait, is it this gen?
Yeah, Ampharos was this gen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What, even above Charizard and all that for you? Ampharos.
Well, I'm trying not to go for a mainstream favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I know Gengar is kind of a mainstream favourite, but because my favourite type is Ghost, I will say Gengar.
See, I don't even know what I would say my favourite type is because, like, obviously I can't say Fairy since it's a later generation typing. Well, no, I think Ampharos is one of the cutest and one of my favourites, especially in like when I was playing like Gen 2. You know, Ampharos was part of my main team.
Who was your favourite pseudo up to Gen 2? Would you say Tyranitar or Dragonite for you? I'm Team Dragonite for me.
I won't lie, I've never really used a Dragonite. So I would say Tyranitar because I did actually use my Tyranitar, quite a bit. So yeah, Tyranitar for me was my main pseudo that I used. Dragonite, I don't know why I didn't really use Dragonite all too often, but I'm not saying that Dragonite is a bad Pokemon, I just don't really prefer it.
Favourite legendary from Gen 1 and 2? For me, I'm going to have to say Mewtwo.
Ooh. That is a good one because if we were to compare the legendaries, I prefer the legendary dogs to the legendary birds.
No, I'm the opposite. I'd prefer the birds and the dogs because I, loved Zapdos, Moltres and Articuno, so...
Yeah, but,
And the only one I liked out of the dogs was Suicune. I didn't really like Entei or Raikou. I only preferred Suicune, so...
I mean, I said I prefer the dogs to the birds, but to have one specific legendary that I like.
But wouldn't you count Lugia and Oa as the birds as well, because technically all birds?
Well, yeah, that's true, but I'm talking about the trios right now.
Well, it's Gen 1 and Gen 2. So, you can add Oa and Lugia to their thing if you wanted to choose one of them. But there is, like I say, Mewtwo for me.
I think, the one I like the most would be Entei. I don't know why, but Entei has always been one of my favourites.
Did you like the Paradox form of Entei later?
It's okay. I don't know.
What was it called? Gouging Fire or something? It's called Gouging Fire or Blazing Rage or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's Gouging Fire. Don't quote me on that.
But I prefer the original form.
Yeah.
Not the alternate form of it. Because I don't think the alternate forms looked as good as the originals. Like, I admit they look unique. I'm not going to say good because, I didn't like really how they looked. Like they changed Entei with a giant long neck, wasn't it?
No, that was the Raikou one. Right, they had a big long neck with like a thundercloud going.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant, Raikou.
I forgot. I think that was Raging Bolt.
Yeah, Raging Bolt. So they didn't look that amazing to me, but obviously I'm just a sucker for the classics.
Because you had the what was it called now? The thingy trio, was it the Swords of Justice?
Yes.
Because you had the Paradox forms of them as well, didn't you? The Terrakion and
yes.
I wasn't much for them either, to be honest. But I was never a big fan of the Raging Trio. I only liked the mythical of that, which was the Keldeo, which was like the leader of the trio.
I never really preferred Swords of Justice myself, to be honest with you.
If I had to choose a Sword of Justice Pokemon, though, for me it would be Terrakion. I would never really liked Virizion or Cobalion. Right, 960 for winning. Right, let's press a few of these switches. change the order. That'll change where the shutters open and close. It's a matter of just guessing and we'll find out. Right. Say favourite mythical? Celebi or Mew?
Mew.
Yeah, Mew for me too. Especially the shiny Mew. Oh, that blue is just a perfect blue colour, you know.
Isn't it teal blue?
Yeah, Faraway Island Mew, yeah. Yeah, I did like Mew.
Because, like, Mew has the DNA of every single Pokemon. So technically
Arceus does it as well.
Yes, so technically you can use Mew to create a man-made version of Arceus. Now that I would love to see if they managed to get it, because obviously they managed to recreate Mewtwo from Mew.
You do see Mew using Transform though, don't you, as well? When it was flying around, you'd see it as another Pokemon and it'd fly off and then turn into something else. I remember seeing it. I can't remember if it was one of the movies or on the series, one of the later series. You do see Mew flying around. You see it as a normal Pokemon amongst others for start. Then you'll see it just turn into the Mew and fly off. So you know it does like to play around as well.
And isn't that
because Mew can know every single move as well because it can learn Transform.
Yes, I mean I remember them saying that Mew learns every single move. But it doesn't mean it can use every single move because there's some move exclusive, like, exclusives.
Well, you can only learn any move that's a TM or HM of, and what it learns itself. You can't learn anything that isn't basically as a technical machine or a hidden machine. So, yeah, you are limited to obviously learning what it can. But it can learn anything that you can teach it, basically. And I think with... Obviously, you can't do anything with egg moves because you can't breed them, so you can't learn moves that way. So, yeah, stuck. And what do you think of the lore with the Ditto and Mew? Ditto's being a failed Mew, they weigh exactly the same, but it's the same colour.
That is still...
And the sprite, the shiny sprite, is the same colour as well.
It's never confirmed.
No, it's not been confirmed.
Because that is still a fan theory, which Pokemon still have not confirmed or, not confirmed.
Neither confirmed or denied. Yeah.
But I can sort of see why the fans think they would be, with, like, the stats, not the stats themselves, but, everything is correspondent of it being a Mew. Obviously, I know Pokemon have done that for a reason, is to make it, but we just want confirmation that they are just failed Mews. But it just doesn't have the capability that Mew has of learning every single move.
And that might explain why there was no Dittos in Legends Arceus. Because humans at that point hadn't done experiments on Mew to produce the Dittos, that's why there was no breeding that way. So that could be a reason as well.
Well, technically you can breed Pokemon in other ways.
You can breed anything in its own egg pool, yeah. There's an egg pool, isn't there, where you can... it doesn't have to be 2 Machops. If there's another Pokemon in the Machop egg pool, then you can actually breed. They've all so many different egg pools.
Well, I'm sure, obviously, in the anime themselves, it's a bit hard to incorporate, having different Pokemon, but then having an egg from it.
Yeah.
But obviously, in the games, it's harder to program it one-on-one rather than this group of this batch of Pokemon is in one, egg pile. Batch.
Yeah. I like the new way the new method in Scarlet and Violet where you do it on the picnics. I think that's a really good method.
Yeah, but it's kind of slow.
It is slow because you have to get the egg power on the sandwich as well. So that's one of the ways of getting them to produce eggs. But I do find that the egg rate is a lot slower on Scarlet and Violet than predecessors like Sword and Shield. That was probably the best one for me for egg hatching was Sword and Shield. The one on the main wild area.
Don't remind me,
because you had a straight path there where you could literally get your steps in quick. There are enough steps to get the next egg.
Like I said, don't remind me because I'm having nightmares over that.
What? Because I was getting more shinies than you. You know what, guys? Yeah, we're going to do some of these videos later on future games when they're released. We're going to do these shiny hunts, and we're going to do East versus West shiny hunts, and we're going to do, if they've got mass outbreaks in future games, I'm not going to speculate yet, but we can do one of us doing mass outbreaks, one of us breeding for eggs, and we can see who like gets an egg first. Or we might even do some fishing ones where we're literally just throwing the fishing rod in and in until we get a shiny, and whoever gets the shiny first wins.
Yeah, but that's going to take forever.
Yeah, that's full odds, so that might take forever. But that's fun. The fun of it.
Yeah, but if you get like a shiny before me again, I'll literally cry.
Nah, we all know you'll get the shiny first. It was only Sword and Shield, to be fair, that I had the good luck. Later on, you've had way better luck in Scarlet and Violet than me. I did shiny hunt on that, but I never found it to be as easy as Sword and Shield.
Not enough dedication, I think. Not enough dedication.
I mean, I got, was it 400 odd hours in the game? I mean, you've done about 700 hours, haven't you, on yours?
I don't know.
Maybe more, I think, because obviously you've been resetted and that as well. What you've actually recorded isn't actually, what you've done. I think you've probably maxed it. The 900 odd hours or whatever it is.
Well, sometimes you do have to do the resets and then the time skipping. And...
Well, yeah, Easter's a very, very dedicated shiny hunter. He has got a fair few hundred out of the decks so far, so he is making good progress. Considering he works as well, and he finds time to do other things,
I mean,
Tries
I'm
his best.
getting there slowly. Obviously, I would like to have more shinies, but
I've got a few hundred myself, but I have got duplicates as well. So, it's not like I've got all 100 odd different unique shinies. I have got 100 odd shinies, but they're not all unique. There is over 100 unique ones, but not, like you say, there are duplicates, which I have got there for trade. So if anyone's got a genuine shiny, not a generated one from a PC, I'm not going to accept a wonder trade because I don't know it's real. So me and East only tend to trade shinies with each other because we know we both genuinely caught them, which is a good thing to do. You're getting authentic Pokemon that way.
But we are kind of like dedicated shiny hunters, and I mean, I'm not saying copying it onto your PC and then just making a copy of it. It's still a legitimate shiny, but it's not the same feeling as catching the shiny yourself. And
yeah.
You know what? I'm happy for when Wes gets his shiny, but it's a lot better feeling when I get the shiny and he doesn't.
And you know how much hard work you put into getting these shinies, that you do appreciate them when you've got them. You're thankful that you've got that shiny Pokemon in your Pokemon home or wherever you've got it on your game still. You really do appreciate them Pokemon, because some of them really do take probably 100 hours to get, especially some of East's. He's done 1,500 eggs for one Pokemon.
Shuckle.
I have had one. I think it was one Pokemon that was over 1,000. I think it was Poplio. Might have been. I'm sure it was Poplio. I think that was about 1,100 eggs. And I have had a 700 egg one as well, which was me Larvitar one. And there's not much difference in the colour on the Larvitar either. So my fastest was a Galarian Slowpoke. That was the second egg. And I did do a Wild Encounters shiny, which I did a hunt for, and that was Ditto, and that was 999 encounters.
I still need to get myself a shiny Ditto.
I use mine for breeding, but the ones I use for when I'm breeding my Pokemon for IVs, when I'm doing shinies, is one I got from Let's Go. because I hyper-trained it to maximum stats on the game, and when you put it to Pokemon Home, it doesn't register as it's been hyper-trained, it registers as perfect stats. So when you move it to the next game, it looks like it's a legitimate, 6 IV Ditto, but it's actually not legitimate. It's legitimately caught, but the stats IVs aren't legitimate. So, but it's there, the exploitation is there, so if you can exploit it, why not? If you can use it to get better IVs for your Pokemon, then I suggest that's what you do if you want a legitimate 6 IV Ditto. Whether there's a patch for that now, I don't know, but at the time there wasn't, so I used it. Right, let's concentrate on this one now. These switches are taking forever. So...
I'm just watching you and...
Yeah, I mean it's because you have to walk so far between each of the switches as well, it doesn't help. So I've pressed 1. Press 1 again, that shuts that one down there. But it's opened that one. So I need a way to open the bottom one there to walk straight along. So... That's shut now, that's shut, but is that opened? No, so I'll try and press this one, see if this one's opened. And does that give me a pathway? No, it doesn't. But the bottom's opened up there. It's one of them, because you can't see the whole of the walls. Just reset it and go back in. Because you can't see all of the walls, you don't know actually why it's opening down there or why it's not, so you're sort of guessing at this stage. There's probably something like, a minimum of like only 3 buttons you've got to press literally and you solve, but you've got to do it in an order of, 3. So it's, if you do the factorial math, it's 3 times 2 times 1. So there's like, what, 3 times 2, 6 times, yeah, so like 6 different ways, is there, of doing it? Of pressing the switches. But sometimes, obviously, I'm forgetting which one I press first and which one I'm not, so I probably should have wrote it down. I looks like a human version of Nabbit off Mario. Hello, I'm Growlithe.
It's one of my favourites.
Hello, sir.
I like how Growlithe looks. Very fluffy.
Oh, he'd be an amazing Pokemon to have, wouldn't he? Especially in the winter months. Keep you warm. Good luck to you on the sofa. Coal fire's gone out, Growlithe. Relight the coal fire for me. Growlithe! Yeah, nice flames again.
I mean, you can get Charmander for that. You don't even need to breathe out. Just need to.
Or a Magmar. Magmar as well. He's got a flat fire tail, hasn't he?
I think Magmar and the entire thing is just like burning hot, anyways.
Yeah, to be fair, he'd probably set your house on fire just walking him in your house. Coffee. Enemy coffee, use smog. Bye bye coughing. Human Nabbit.
Looks like a typical thief.
Yay!
Finally got there.
Finally! I think resetting it actually did help, because, I don't know what order I was pressing everything. It was probably all messed up.
Oh look, we're going for...
How did she get there so fast, Oh, look, he's drooling.
Well, you did see that, her sprite is running, so she literally ran all the way down.
You know what? I'm building up some hunger, so hopefully we can get this rocket tower done. This radio tower. And get some food. Ich bin sehr hungry, ja.
We'll get there.
Any German fans? You know what I mean. I'm very hungry. Right. Let's go, Cinder. acid. Oh, don't be firing that stuff on me.
Well, you know, you burn it off anyways. You don't have to worry about it too much.
Never a big fan of Odyshaw Gloomer, but I always liked Vileplume.
Vileplume does look nice, but
Blossom's quite a pretty one as well.
yeah, they did pretty well with those designs.
It's a shame they didn't do too well with Politoed though. Remember, Blossom and Politoed were this gen's additives, and out of the two, I'm definitely going to say Blossom was better than Politoed. It was a Sunstone, I believe, that you use on Gloom for Blossom, and then you used a Leaf Stone for Vileplume. Right, shall we go in?
I think we're ready.
Take out the rest of the execs in there. Rocket execs, and then we can go. Nugget there, we'll have to sell afterwards. Wish I had a real gold nugget right now.
Don't we all?
Oh look, they've moved all the things around now.
Is that for your teeth, so you can have a gold tooth?
Oh yeah, good idea actually.
I'm not too sure if this one's an exec.
No, the one they're in there, I believe, in the other room. There might only be one exec down here, because we did beat a few up in the main radio tower earlier. But we've got to get the guy who's taken hostage down here at the moment.
It's the president, isn't it?
I think he's the president of the radio tower company, yeah. Gold that. You know what, I would like it if they did it as well, a Pokemon game in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Dragon Quest 11, where when you're playing the 3D game, you can switch it to the 2D mode, and it would go like this. The game literally looked similar to this, a 2D game. It looked old style, but you were still playing it as if you were in the 3D world, so you could swap any moment. So if you really like the old style games like this, you can swap styles whenever you want. That would be so good.
I mean, didn't they do that with the 3DS? I mean, sort of style.
I'm not sure, but I know they did it with Dragon Quest 11. And I thought that was a really good feature. We need to revisit that series at some point, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really go back to Dragon Quest 1 and do the older ones. That one might be good.
Got a lot to do at the moment. Got a lot to revisit.
Yeah, because it's been many, many years since I played Final Fantasy 1. I think in the late 90s I've last played that, when 7 came out.
I've never actually played any of the Final Fantasies.
I played all the numbered Final Fantasy games apart from 3 on the original ones. 3 was the only one I never played because I think it was released on a separate console that I never had at the time.
Well, I never played any of the original Final Fantasies, only because my family was too poor to buy any consoles. So, you know, I had to save up money on my own, you know, doing all sorts to you know, to try and make some money. You know, birthdays. You know, I saved up many monies I got for my birthdays, and eventually got my own, you know, console.
That's how it was back in the day, though. You know, you were a bit more old-fashioned then. You had to earn your own money. So, like, he probably helped his mum and dad out and had paper jobs as well. I mean, I had a paper round, so I had my own income. When I was in high school, I had 2 paper rounds. I got £7 a week for 1 paper round, and then I got £10 a week from another paper round, so I was getting around £17 a week at the time. But my father gave me no pocket money.
But £17 a week was pretty much a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it was. So after 2 weeks, I could actually buy a game, because games were only $29.99 back then when they released.
No.
Especially Pokemon games, and that were $29.99.
No, new was £20.
No, they were like $29.99 when I was buying them.
Oh.
I remember Crystal, they were $29.99. I remember getting these from Woolworths. I got mine.
Because I remember when I got a advanced game, and that was £20.
Yeah, the advanced games. It depends. I think maybe you got one when it was on sale or something. I don't know.
Possibly.
But Pokemon themselves were more expensive. They tended to be more expensive anyway.
I'm pretty sure the original Pokemon Red and Yellow, Red, Blue and Yellow weren't that much.
Yeah, they were about 20 quid, yeah.
That's probably what I'm thinking of.
They were the original Game Boy though, until Yellow came for the colour. And then Crystal was for the colour as well. And then obviously after that it went to the Advance. I think the only ones that came out on the Advance were... It was Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and then was it Leaf Green and Fire Red?
Yeah.
And then after that it was all DS and 3DS. So you sort of have like 1 or 2 generations per console, I find.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, Leaf Green and Fire Red, that was a pretty good game. I think it was a bit early for remakes, but it was still really good.
I will save the radio tower, don't always say. Yeah, the remakes. The remakes, they're always good. They added new things to them as well, like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, for instance. They did add a lot of decent graphics to the games, give it a lot of replayability. Yeah, I've ended up in this place.
Yeah, but the only sad thing I find about like Pokemon now is like everything is all, you know, DLCs and everything. The content afterward, post game content is becoming less. I mean, obviously, I know Pokemon Red, there wasn't as much post game content, but it was still enjoyable because, you know, there was a chance of trying to get Mewtwo, finish off getting all the birds, finishing the decks.
Yeah.
So for that point in time, it was still quite a lot to do.
Yeah, I mean, they were the days. But yeah, I remember how hard it used to be just to, buy a game back then. So we did really have to work as kids to be able to buy our own games. Things weren't handed on a plate. I know times are different now, but back then you did really, as a kid, you had to go out and get a paper round, or go to a shop, get some leaflets and post leaflets for a bit of money, or there was other ways of doing it. There was always method of earning money, or it was cut your edges and loan for your parents or whatever, and they used to get a bit for that. But it's what you had to do.
Yeah, but parents back then didn't realise the significance of what games could potentially be. Because how many parents would, let their children play on games, if they knew that they could make money from it?
I went Woolworths for nearly all of my games, because I originally lived, there was nowhere near a town centre, so the nearest town centre for me was where there was a Woolworths, and there was no other real game shops there. So the Woolworths had literally all the new games that came out, and you could actually pre-order them in there as well.
Oh, I remember when it was Debenhams.
I liked... I used to like going in, you'd see all Pokemon Yellow on the shelves. Behind you, you'd look behind you, and then you'd have the VHSs, you'd have Pokemon 2000 movie, Pokemon 3 the movie, Pokemon Forever, all on VHS behind you on the shelves. It was just amazing, the nostalgia of it. And then you got all the Game Boy games there, and then PlayStation 1 games were there as well, because I used to buy all the original Final Fantasies on there. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9.
Well, unfortunately, I could never afford a PlayStation, so I never got into the PlayStation myself, unfortunately.
I had one a few years after they came out, because it took me a while to get one. I had the original Nintendo Entertainment System, which was, I think, was a 1985 console release. But I had it early 90s as like a hand-me-down from, I think it was my uncle.
So, a fun fact, I did not get my first original Xbox until until the 360 had already come out for a few years, and I bought that for £90 with a game on this, which wasn't included. The game was like, I think, a few pounds back then.
Yeah, but when you're that age, you didn't really care about having the brand new console. Back then you just got your enjoyment out of what you got. So you got that Xbox, and I bet you still enjoyed playing them games when you got it.
I did. But the thing is, I still had to hide it from my mum.
I bet you played Fable, like me.
Oh, who didn't play Fable?
Yeah, there might be a new... I mean, they've been said there's a new Fable game coming out, but it's been in development for years, apparently, so we're all still waiting for this Fable.
Well, actually, wasn't, I believe, Fable... they teased it when the original, Xbox came out.
Yeah, the one before the Series X and S, yeah, the Xbox One S and X. They did say that they were in development then, and we're still waiting for it now.
But, if a game turns out to be good, I am looking forward to it. I don't mind waiting, another couple of years for it if a game is going to be amazing.
Yeah, we don't want game developers rushing them. We'd rather them to produce, high quality game than something that's been rushed out with AI polishing things off. We want, people to make the games, not AI, preferably people, because AI doesn't have the same imagination as a human, so we'd rather, humans still make the games because, it's taking jobs away from people as well. But I would like to see, like you say, Fable to be released at some point. Also, Elder Scrolls 6, that is supposed to be coming out in the next few years. That's been in development for a while now as well. And GTA 6 as well also, so we have got some really good games.
GTA 6 is coming out next year, I believe.
Yeah, it was meant to come out this year, but they delayed it till next year because of bugs and that in the game still. But you're better off waiting, for a better product. It's worth waiting for, I'd say. And plus, GTA doesn't really have that many competitors of that type of game. Whereas, there are a lot of other games like Call of Duty. There's, you go to Fortnite or you go to PUBG or other games. There's so many the same, but with GTA, there's none that are truly the same as that. Where you've got freedom and you can go around and just shoot someone on the street or whatever. There's not many games competing with it.
There are similar games like Red Dead Redemption.
They were made by the same company.
But yeah,
it's made by Rockstar, so yeah. Not really competitor, it's the same company.
Because obviously, while it's under the same company, but it's different teams. The different teams will be competing with each other.
There was Saints Row as well at the time. That was very similar. Did you ever play Crackdown?
No, I didn't.
That was a really good game. That was Crackdown. I didn't like the other two, Crackdown 2 and 3, but I preferred number 1. That was so good.
I'm still trying to get on top of all the games that I've got
Right. Final couple of battles and we've eradicated Team Rocket from the tower.
It's a shame we couldn't eradicate the whole of Team Rocket.
They are Rocket Executive. Orbots, they're all getting slightly better Pokemon now.
Well, we fought an Orbok earlier.
And it's a higher level as well, 32. All the others are like 25 on the grunts.
Luckily we're not fairy type yet.
Buck! Been wrapped. Oh no. See, when Whitney's Miltank used roll out, it was hitting everyone one hit. And like mine's hit twice already, done not even half the damage.
And your attack missed.
And now I'm dead because of wrap. Bye, Chixie. You fought hard. Right, meet my serpent. A dragon serpent of the sea. One of the most ferocious looking Pokemon ever made. Gyarados.
And one of the like.
It is though, isn't it? When you look at, remember when you first saw it in the anime, you saw the Gyarados' face out of the water. It looked really like evil to look at.
To be honest, yeah, I think everyone is scared of Gyarados.
Oh, Murkrow.
Easy.
Murkrow and Honchkrow were actually a decent Pokemon in this game. Dark type as well.
Yeah, because now there weren't that many dark types, so if you had a dark type, you had a slight bit of an advantage.
Yeah, you had Murkrow, Honch. I think Honchkrow was later though, Gen 4.
Yeah.
And then you had Umbreon. Trying to think if there's any other dark types in Gen 2. Can't think of any off the top of my head. But I do remember Murkrow and Umbreon.
Was Puchana a next gen one?
Puchina was a different gen, yeah, because this one was the fire type one. Was it Houndoom and Houndour?
Houndour and Houndoom.
Yeah. They were the fire type, and then yeah, Puchina was very similar to being like Houndour and Houndoom, just different types. But they were a two-stage evolution as well. Was it Puchina and who was the other one? Can't remember the other one, you know. I only recently got a shiny on that in Scarlet and Violet, I remember that. Because there was a mass outbreak and I got it, the second stage evolution it was. I mean, I wish it was the first because I could have carried on with the outbreak to get a second one, then evolve one, then I had both. But yeah, my luck was that it was the second one. But I still got it, so, you know, shinies are shiny.
I'm still shiny hunting a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go back to BDSP at some point, aren't we, and try and get some from there.
Well, I still need to complete the decks, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've got everything except for Spinder at the moment, so I need to get Spinder. Once I've got Spinder, then, you know, I've completed it and got the shiny charm.
And the only issue is, Spinder, you have to get it on your own. You can't even trade it or anything like that.
Yeah, it only appears on one day, certain day. And it's randomised. You have to wait until it's there, spawned on that day, and it's only in one spot as well. And there's another factor of Spinder, because Spinder's got so many unique types that you actually can't trade it from home to that game, even if it's from that game. You can only trade from one Diamond and Pearl, sorry, from Brilliant Diamond to Shining Pearl, or vice versa, but you can't trade it from any other generation, even if the generation's a newer one or an older one. It won't let you. It's something to do with the Spinder's coding. It's very hard to code because it's been made in a way that it generates a new version every time you catch a Spinder.
And they always say, yeah, that you can't get the same Spinder twice.
No. I think they actually said the Pokemon Company did say that every single Spinder since Pokemon's been created and the games have been created, that no one's ever caught the same Spinder.
But I did see, I don't know, obviously,
because the code's made infinitely, so it generates off a scale of like something like 20 digits long or something. It just generates one random pixel. I mean, it can look the same, but it can be literally the difference of a few pixels on the screen.
Because I remember, like, you know, I did see like someone like showing off, saying that they have the normal Spinder as well as the shiny form of the exact same Spinder. But I was just wondering, how is it possible?
No,
unless they might have, like, you know, fudged the digits. Unless
the shiny one is a generated one where it's exactly the same, where no matter what shiny you get of Spinder, it is always the same shiny, maybe.
Well, but
our Unknown was originally just the letter I. It might be the same as that, where all the others are infinite same, but the shiny variant's always the same.
Well, I'm not too sure about that, but obviously, you know, I just remember seeing how they said, like, you know, they had the spinner, but they managed to find the, you know, shiny and, you know, the normal one at the exact same time. They caught it and they had it side by side. But I was thinking, you know, the chances of finding the shiny as well as the non-shiny form of the same pattern is so infinitely small that the chance of that happening is just next to impossible. So
I think we should do that now, you know, that should be our challenge. We'll complete the decks on BDSP, and obviously when we come to upload our recordings on here, we'll do a live stream, and me and you will literally, both of us, breed 4 Spinder, and then compare the shinies, and we can actually test see if the shinies look the same.
I'm not even too sure if you can breed the Spinder through.
You can breed Spinder with Ditto, yeah? It's just a normal Pokemon and it's Spinder. It's not a legendary or anything.
But the thing is, yeah, would it be recorded in the decks if someone traded it from another BDSP? Or do you have to catch it yourself for it to be recorded?
You can trade it over from BDSP to Shining Pearl, from Brilliant Diamond to Shining Pearl, but you can't trade it from any other generation. Because I have caught it in, I think it was in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I did catch it in there, and it wouldn't allow me to transfer it. It doesn't allow you to transfer any other Spinders over.
Oh, that's such a shame. I mean, you know, I'd love to try and complete my decks, but, you know, I think you said that Spinder is one of the hardest ones for you to try and get, because obviously of the conditions, but we definitely need to try and get that sorted as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get one, and then if I get one or you get one, we can just trade it over so we both get the decks complete, and then we'll breed them, and then we'll try and get a shiny, because we'll have the shiny charm at that point then. So with the Masuda method, which does exist in BDSP as well, will give us slightly better odds, and we should get one. I think it's 1 in 800 odd chance with the Masuda method.
Yeah, unfortunately, my luck is very small, so I'm not too sure whether I'd be able to do that.
Might be better in BDSP, it might be better than mine, to be fair, because mine was only good in Sword and Shield.
We'll see, we'll see.
We do need to do more in Sword and Shield at some point though, because we need to do the legendary raid dens for shinies as well, to catch the shiny ones.
If you manage to get lucky to match all the numbers, you get a Master Ball.
I know, I did it in Sword and Shield. I did manage to get a Master Ball. I even screenshotted it on my Switch as proof.
I have never once managed to get a Master Ball from the raffle.
Right, I'd say because we've done the radio tower now, we're going to call it quits for now. So thank you for watching, guys. I know it's been a long marathon of a video, but please like and subscribe to the channel to see the rest of the game and other games. West out.
Yes, we did enjoy ourselves trying to get through this. I especially enjoyed watching like West make a fool of himself. But yes, time to go. East out.
The social, feeling like the club, gonna be the best. Pushing all the barriers and playing for a game. Say Super War and remember our name. East and West, gonna war.